Hey everybody, Tim here with today's episode of Star Trek The Next Generation, Season 2, Episode 15, Pen Pals. So I really like this episode. I remember watching this as a kid, and even watching it now as an adult, it's a super cute episode. It's, again, kind of all about family, kind of like the last episode, Icarus Factor, was all about coming togetherness. This episode has a very similar story to it. So basically, Data ends up somehow getting a message from a little girl asking if she's the only one out there. And Data's like, no, there's tons of other species. And they kind of start a communication. Well, to get to the end, it turns out her planet is about to explode, and Data wants to help. Now, because it's a pre-warp civilization that is unfamiliar with other species being out there in the universe, they can't, because it would go against the Prime Directive. And where their planet's located is kind of infamous for other planets exploding randomly. So Data goes to Picard and explains the situation, and then they kind of have to weigh, so is saving this planet breaking the Prime Directive? Okay, well, what if they were at war and they interfered? Would it be Prime Directive? Well, what if they were being enslaved? Would it be breaking the Prime Directive? And there's just different gray areas on how to handle the things. And I like this episode because, first off, it's interesting to see Worf, because Worf is just like, let them die. Their planet's about to explode. We can't do anything. And he's just like the far extreme, whereas obviously Data is the other extreme, where he wants to save this little girl and her planet. What I really like about this episode is, for 15 episodes now, I've just talked about how much I hate Polanski, because she's just constantly digging at Data, non-stop digging at him. And she's just kind of a bully. I understand they were going for a Bones-Spock sparring thing that's funny and interesting, whereas in this, she's just fucking digging at him. And it's not funny, it's irritating. Whereas in this episode, you finally see Polanski stand up for Data. And this is the first time where we've actually seen her be compassionate. Now, it could be because it's about a little girl and it's about a species, and she's a medical doctor, so she wants to save lives. But she says, we cannot let Data's friend die. And so it's interesting that we're finally starting to see that turnaround where she's starting to look at Data as a compassionate being. So I like that about this episode. And then it's kind of funny in a serious way, where Data actually gets the little girl and he beams her aboard. And it was funny because I'm watching this episode and my husband's in the kitchen, not really paying attention. And he's like, did he just kidnap her? And I was like, yep. And he's like, oh, that's not good. And then pretty much as soon as he says that, Chief O'Brien's like, there's going to be hell to pay. And it was almost like this domino effect, because then they walk on the bridge and Captain Picard's just like, Data just brought a little girl onto my bridge. He got all sorts of sassy Picard. It was a great, it probably wasn't supposed to be funny, but it made me laugh. Yeah, like I said, overall, I really like this episode. This is one of those that I saw as a kid, and it's kind of stuck with me as well. Probably just to be a compassionate person whenever possible. For those who have seen this one, go ahead, let me know in the comments below. So like I said, we've had 2 family episodes so far, and the next episode is very far from that. So what do you guys think about these family dynamic episodes? Go ahead, let me know in the comments below, and I will see you guys for next time for one of the most famous Star Trek episodes, Q Who.